Hey guys, it's Galactic and welcome to another episode of the C# 2D game engine series. In this episode, we'll be making an input class to handle our input. So let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is create an input class. So right click on the project, add class, and then put in the name of the class, which will be input. And I just like to put the extension .cs. You don't have to put the extension. Alright, so let's make this a public class as it will be accessible. Because when we do convert this into a DLL, we do want it to be so it's accessible. In fact, this could be a struct instead. So let's just make it a struct. It's an input struct. Actually, for now we'll leave it a class. Let's not get carried away. So the first thing we need to do is make a private static list of keys, and we're gonna need to use OpenTK.input, and you can just type in using OpenTK.input. Right? We're gonna make a list of keys, current keys, and is equal to a new list of keys. And basically, the way this is going to work is we're going to have three lists: current keys, down keys, and up keys. And essentially, we'll just pull these lists and then add and remove. So we'll have another list of down keys, and that's equal to a new list of keys. And then we'll have a last list of up keys. Alright, and that is all we need for the keys for now. So next, what we're gonna do is we'll make a public static void. Actually, we'll make an internal static void update. Alright, and we need a way to update these keys. So what we're gonna do is, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna update our down keys. So we're gonna do down keys .clear because we want to clear this key every frame. So then we'll make a for loop for int I is less than enum .get names type of key .length. And the reason for this, we're doing this is because we want to get the length of the key enum. Okay, so once we do that, we say if not get key. So we haven't created this function yet, but if not get key. So we want to cast I to a key. Right? If not get key, and current keys dot contains key I, then we want to do everything. And lastly, before we do anything else, I forgot, I messed this up. So it's if get key key I and not current key. So if we're holding down the key and it's not in our current key, so in our current frame, then we want to say down keys dot add key I. So now let's do the update, and the up keys will be the exact same thing, except it's going to be if not get key and if current key, and then we're just going to say up keys is equal to. Now let's do current keys, right? That's the last thing we need to do. So we need to say current keys dot clear. Okay, and now let's make a for loop for in time is enum dot get names type of key dot length. Okay, very simple. Get names. My bad. Okay, and then we have to check if we're holding down the key. So if get key I. Well then, we're going to say current keys dot add key I, because if we're holding it down, it has to be there. Okay, so now let's go make our function. So we're gonna have a public static void get key, and this will take in a key. Okay, so we're gonna say if we're focused. Now the thing is, we don't really have a way to check if we're focused, as game is not a singleton or anything. So ideally we want to have a way to tell if we're focused. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, instead of checking the game, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a focus callback, and essentially we're just gonna call public static void focus callback. Okay, and we're gonna have a void of focus callback. So essentially, this will also be internal. My bad. This will be an internal static void focus callback. And in our, well, let's make a start or initialize function. And essentially, what's gonna happen is we're gonna say, actually, no. What we're gonna do is, instead of doing a callback, as that is kind of not necessary now that I think about it, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have a public static bool focused, and that equal to whatever. And then in game, we can simply say what's the verb? Focused. So that's an event, yeah. Protected override on focus changed. We can simply say input dot focused is equal to focused, and of course this should be private. This should be private static bool, or actually it can be public. Let's rename it to, let's make it capitalized just for consistency's sake, and we'll make it a property. Get private. No, get set. Right, because we want to modify it outside. That's good. So now we're going to say if focused. If we are focused, then what we're going to do is, if we're not focused, actually, we're going to return false. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to return keyboard dot get state dot is key down. And we're going to convert that to a short. We're going to call key. The reason we're making it short is because is key down takes in a short. And it would make sense, right? And this should return a bool, obviously. Next up, we're going to have a public static bool get key down. And we're going to take in a key as well. And we're just going to say if not focused, then we're going to call. We're going to return false. Otherwise, we're going to return down keys dot contains key. So same thing for the up. Public static bool get key up. Everybody's going to be taking a key, and if we're not focused, we're going to return false. Otherwise, we'll return up keys that contains key. So now we basically have all our key functions. Okay? So what's left now is to actually test it out. So the first thing we're going to do is in game, we're going to go here. So we already did the on focus change stuff, but now on update frame, we can simply, before updating our game, we can call input.update. So now, in our test game, we'll go here, and in our update, we can say if input.getKey down, and we'll OpenTK.input.key.a. We're gonna call console.writeLine. We have pressed the A. Oh no. The A key. The A key has been pressed. And now we're going to check release. So if input.key up OpenTK.a, then we'll do console.writeLine. The A key has been released. Now we can simply also check if input.getKey OpenTK.input.key A. Then we're just gonna say console.writeLine. The A key is being held. Okay. So now if we build and compile, right? If we compile and build, we should be getting the A key has been pressed when we press A. When we hold it, we'll say the A key is being held, and when it's up, well, when we release it, then it should work. So as you can see, we got an error. So let's look at the error where it was. And then, well, let's debug it. So I'm just waiting. Okay, so the type threw an exception. Well, what was the exception? Check is key down, short key. So what are we doing wrong here? The type initializer, its value is unknown. Alright guys, I'll be back when I fix this error. Alright guys, so I figured out the issue. So the issue is that keyboard isn't implemented yet. So this OpenTK version is actually outdated. Now luckily, we can get the updated version via their website. So the first thing we're going to need to do is uninstall this from NuGet. So we're going to have to right click on our solution and click manage NuGet packages. Over here we're going to click uninstall, and now we have uninstalled OpenTK. So now, don't worry, you're going to get some errors. It's alright though. 40 errors to be exact. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go on to Chrome and go on OpenTK.com. Now the thing is, I already have this downloaded, but all you have to do is press download OpenTK. It'll download for you. Now once you've downloaded it, put it in a spot, and I'm going to go to the folder. So I actually have it in my Frost Engine folder. So I'm just going to grab it from here, OpenTK develop, that's the one I have. So I'm going to Control C that. And in my project folder, in this, I'm going to open folder in File Explorer, right Gloom Engine, and I'm actually going to make a new folder in here called Libraries. And over here, I'm just going to paste that. Now, we have OpenTK. Now, it's just gonna copy it over, but once it has, all I have to do is reference it, and now keyboard will be included. Another thing that I have done is comment some of this code. So just if you're wondering when I did that. So now we can go reference, we can click on right click on references, click add reference, press browse, and we'll just browse. So I'm just gonna go documents, galactic glum, tutorials, Glum Engine 2D libraries, OpenTK develop, binaries, OpenTK debug, and OpenTK.dll. And I actually built this from the source. And I'll probably include a download to this DLL just because if you do have a weirder version, you can just use my build from source. Now, if we go here, let's rebuild. Should work. Hopefully. Okay. Still seems like it's giving me that. Let me try it using OpenTK.graphics.gl4. Return keyboard. Keyboard.getState. Actually, might have not included the correct version. Let me browse. Let me browse the references. Add reference. So first I'm going to delete this reference. Let me remove from recent references. And in fact, I'm going to remove this reference. I'm going to press add reference, browse, and I'm going to go to OpenTK. Now I'm going to go to my Frosty Engine projects, Frosty Engine libraries, OpenTK develop, binaries, OpenTK debug, and I'm just going to add these two. Let me try to get state dot. Huh. That is key down. Key code. Of course, I changed some of these names as well. Let's try building now. Come right there. Alright, where was the error? Because I don't know where there was. Find. System out of range is exception. Seems to me like I'm not referencing the correct version. Let me delete OpenTK and add a different reference. I'm going to grab it right from the Frosty Engine output folder. So Frosty Engine demo, bin, debug, no, release even. Bin, release. And where is it? OpenTK.dll. And I will post this if it works. It seems to work now. So I'm guessing it is an error with the DLL. No. Okay, so specified argument was out of range of valid values. And that's because we forgot to convert it to a short. So if we just do that real quick, rebuild, go. The A key has been pressed. If we go right here and we start pressing it, it does not. But the A key has been pressed, and you can see the A key has been released, pressed, released. Right, every time we press it, there's always followed by a release. Yeah. So that works. Okay, so we're calling input.update, whatever. In fact, yeah, that's good. Now, let's also put that in. So the only issue is, by default, we're not focused. So, for now, instead of making this callback in game, where we do this unfocused change, let's just in update, we say input dot focused is equal to focused. Just because for now, we need to update it. It's not that good. It's not that performant hogging, I guess, because either way, we still. So as you can see, when I hold A, alright, I hold A, it keeps giving me. But now, if I just hold it like that, and if again, like that, so it works. And of course, let's remove this just because we don't want to be just. Right, so it works. And that's our input class. So the only thing is we haven't done mouse input yet. And the funny thing is, it's practically the same thing. So we can just do I'll put a comment, mouse lists, and I'll do private static list key, no, not key, list mouse button current mouse buttons is equal to new list of mouse buttons. Okay, and we gotta do this for down mouse buttons and up mouse buttons. Now, we simply can copy this. Instead of current keys, we can do current mouse button. So up, down, current. So right here, current mouse button, down mouse buttons, and up mouse buttons. Now, let's just replace that with mouse button. Okay. Mouse button, 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 until we have a ton of errors, because that's what we're really aiming for at this point. Okay, so now simply we're gonna replace this with get mouse button. Okay, get mouse button and current mouse buttons. Then we're gonna say up mouse buttons dot add mouse button. Now, same goes for here. We'll just replace that, and we'll also just do it for here too. And we'll do get mouse button, current mouse button as well. Now the only errors we should be getting are 3, right? If we take a look at our error list, 3 errors. Now we can even copy these because they're all practically the same. Alright, so get key down, get key up. There's get key. So we're gonna name this get mouse button, and we're gonna say we're gonna rename this to mouse button, and we'll say mouse button there. Okay. If we're not focused, then if we're not focused, then return false. Otherwise, we're gonna say mouse dot get state that is button down, and it just takes in a mouse button. That does not need any conversion. Now, of course, let's say if the mouse button is down, we can't be clicking anything. Now we can just literally copy these. That. Put that in there. I'll put that in there. Just so comments are, I guess, alright. Now we can replace that and replace that. And now all we have to do is change the name. Mouse button down. We can even just copy mouse button And then over here, just replace that. Get, what was it? Get mouse button up. Now, return down mouse buttons and up mouse buttons. Contains mouse button. Now we have no errors because everything's alright. There's gonna be two other things. Let's just add real quick, and that will be it's cursor stuff. Really, so we're gonna do public static vector2f. We don't have math. We don't have our math classes yet, so technically we can't do it just yet because we don't have a math classes. But because this is, I'm not really gonna be doing math classes. I think I was gonna use the OpenTK one. So vector2. Right, we're not gonna be making our own. So quick actions and refactoring, and we're gonna be using OpenTK. Right, using OpenTK.graphics.OpenGL4. Or is it just OpenTK? Oh, it's just OpenTK. Unless, pretty sure it's required. I don't know. Struct OpenTK. Yeah, public static vector2 get mouse position. Okay, get mouse position. That will be like that, right? And then we're gonna return our mouse position in the form of a vector2, and we're gonna return new vector2 mouse.getState .x and mouse.getState .y. Okay, now we're gonna make a public static void set mouse position, which will have a public static void set mouse position, which will have, and this will take in a vector2f, not a vector2f, just a vector2 position, which will then mouse.get mouse.set position position.x and position.y. And we'll make an overload function for this by saying public static void set mouse position float x and float y, and then we'll say mouse.set position xy. Now we can simply do public static void show cursor bool visibility, actually, just because the naming is better, and that will be, where's to get, see, the thing is, we kind of have to rely on singletons at this point, because we have to set if the cursor is visible. Mouse.cursor.visible. There's no way to set the visibility. So that gets state.visibility. See? So we will have to set it in our game. So let's just make game a singleton, for now at least, right? So we'll have private static instance or game. We'll call it instance. Now, public static game instance, which will then get return instance, and will not be able to set it. Okay, so now in our constructor we can just say if instance is not equal to null, and we'll say console.writeLine should never have more than one game class. You should never have more than one game class. And then we'll say instance is equal to this. There you go. So now in input, not only do we not need this anymore, because we can say game.instance.focused. We can just copy that and let's just go for every error. Let's fix that error. Okay. Now in show cursor we can say game.instance. Cursor visible is equal to visibility. And there you go. And now we have a robust input class, and let's just test. Let's just test the mouse button stuff. So if input down mouse button to get mouse button down button 1 or something. Say console.write line mouse in 1 pressed, and let's just try that out. Pretty sure mouse button 1 would be left, although I may be wrong. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know what that was, but left. Let's try that now. See, works like a charm. And that's practically the whole class, the whole input class. Alright, thanks for watching, and if you do enjoy my content and you would like to support me, yeah, just consider supporting me on Patreon. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm out.